I told myself a while ago that I would stop wearing my Jurassic Park shirt so much when I do videos, but this time it felt kind of inappropriate if it wasn't there. Hello, everybody. I am Mr. Tilbury, and I just saw Steven Spielberg's adaptation of Ernest Cline's Ready Player One. I'll give you my impressions of the movie and give you plenty of warning before going to Spoiler Town, though to be honest with you, the spoilers are on the lighter side of things this time around. So if you stick around, I don't think it will compromise the experience too much. Ready Player One is a story that takes place in our future, in the distant 2040s, wherein a bunch of vague, bad things have happened in the real world, but who cares? There's this virtual world that is infinitely more tantalizing, and literally everyone is playing it. The plot was advertised heavily. The creator of the virtual world has passed away and left a series of clues and challenges in his game, and if you solve them all, you get to take ownership of the virtual world and get tons and tons of money. Just taking one look at this film will tell you everything you need to know, as it is incredibly obvious that this movie is banking on nostalgia bait, and my impressions of the movie were incredibly biased for that reason. The film is an extraordinary love letter to pop culture and gaming culture, and Steven Spielberg is one of my favorite directors. It's also a movie that only really could have existed in the 2010s, where our most bankable cinema climate gorges on nostalgia, remakes, reboots, because recreating the past is just so much more tantalizing than moving things forward. But it is done very well. Ready Player One slams you with an onslaught of incredible visuals and awesome music from the 1980s, and a particularly epic moment with the Bee Gees. And as we watch our hero navigate his way through the game world, along the way he meets a cast of characters who constantly embody the theme of escapism and fantasy, as their coolness exists almost exclusively in the virtual world, where the real world feels out of focus and plain. The game world is lush and vibrant, and the camera moves with this sense of speed and fluidity, and the hero's interactions with his supporting cast is incredibly reminiscent of what it's like to play an MMO or any game with a big open community where famous players are recognized and worshipped and everyone takes the game just so seriously. As someone who's played World of Warcraft for a really long time and other MMOs, this really struck home, and I loved it. But you may be wondering if this film caters so overwhelmingly to the gamer fan base, with some movies spliced in, whether or not the general audience would like or even understand the movie. And therein lies its greatest weakness. While the pop culture and gaming references are fantastic and exhilarating to see, from the use of currency to buy game-breaking items and secret solutions and modifying and customizing yourself and seeing Tracer just all over the place, when you strip all of that away, you're left with a really, really, really basic plot. Ready Player One lacks any conventional character development, with a generic and uninspired main villain and corporation and generic resistance driving the tension, and it does not feature good writing for its lead female, though to the movie's credit, it is an improvement on the book's version of the same character, who's an even worse example of a cliche nerd fantasy girl. And speaking of the book, this movie is an adaptation, but luckily it was in the hands of Steven Spielberg, who took movies like Jaws and Jurassic Park and Schindler's Ark and masterfully converted prose to screenplay. For example, he cuts out the book's lengthy Dungeons & Dragons feeling sections and full movie reenactments for more visually appealing fodder like high-speed races and the like, though Spielberg did get the chance to honor his friend Stanley Kubrick with the literal greatest reference to The Shining that I have ever seen. The changes were made to accommodate the changes in the medium, and I feel it works well. All of this is to say that Ready Player One thrives more as a piece of cultural phenomena than a dramatic story, and it's only truly interesting when it's celebrating video games, and this leads me to the great impasse of my numerical score. In terms of grading the story's quality, development, set-off, payoff, resolutions, it's bland. It's really just bland. an average, leaning me to kind of give it, 7.5 kind of range, just hovering over just bad. Yet the gamer in me, the child in me, the part of me that wants to see my culture and what I love and what I obsess over honored and made into something so fun. My heart just wants to give it a 10 out of 10. This movie consistently keeps a vibrant and dazzling tone, and it does ultimately end on a positive message about valuing time in the real world. It's a film worth checking out for many reasons, and I hope that you had as much fun with it as I did. That's it for the safe section of the review. Please hit the like and subscribe button for more content, and beat it if you don't want spoilers, because I'm going to Spoiler Town in 3, 2, 1. So the only thing I want to say here is that, man, I love the representation of James Halliday. It's clear to a degree that he suffers from some ambiguous disorder of sorts, and it's very, very well acted, vaguely in the autistic scale of things, with just an absurdly, beautifully intelligent mind with poor people skills. But it's honestly great to see this kind of man showed in such an empathetic light, and interestingly, frankly, I found James Halliday more interesting than the main character himself. Furthermore, in changing Halliday's challenges from recreating his favorite movies and playing his favorite games as a child from the 70s like the book, the focus was placed more on who he was and what he regretted in his life. The Easter egg challenge sought to teach the player about the consequences of missing out on the real world by overly succumbing to distraction. Allowing anything, not just games, not just movies, to consume your time will inevitably lead to failings in other areas of your life. And that's what I think the movie version of this character really stood for. And outside all the pop culture references, that is the highlight of the movie. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for being a nerd with me, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm a small channel, but I hope to one day be bigger. I do a lot of movie reviews and analysis and video essays on a lot of random things, and I try to upload my thoughts on current topics whenever I can. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again.